Newport News in Review with Aaron Pritchett starts right now.
Hello, I'm Aaron Pritchett, and welcome to this edition of Newport News in Review for the month of April 2012. Well, spring has sprung, giving way to those picture-perfect days thanks to Mother Nature's special little ways. And here in the city of Newport News and throughout Hampton Roads, you don't have to look too far to experience the excitement of the season. From wonderful wildlife, flowering trees, buzzing bees, and yes, that luscious green grass that has the tendency of growing up past your knees. And as you venture out here, there, and everywhere, trying not to miss a thing, don't forget about one very special place here in this city that has been connecting the young and the young at heart to the beauties of nature, with all creatures great and small native to the state of Virginia for more than 50 years. As we bring the show to you from the very popular Virginia Living Museum, located at 524 J. Clyde Morris Boulevard in the heart of the cultural corridor of Newport News. It's a place that definitely catches your attention. A unique-looking building that may appear new to some and a well-known fixture to many. But no matter if this is your first introduction or a simple walk down memory lane, the Virginia Living Museum has been a vital link to the natural world for decades, as this unique learning environment has provided young and old alike the opportunity to get up close and personal, with habitats, plant species, and a wealth of wildlife from all over the state of Virginia. And with all of its success and the incredible memories that have been made through the years, it's important to realize that this special place didn't happen all by chance, but rather one man's dream and a swell of community support that has turned this dream into reality. Harry Wasson, local businessman and environmentalist, helped to coordinate a community fundraising effort which included the Junior League of Hampton Roads and the Warwick Rotary Club to help build a museum with a focus on nature. And on November 13, 1966, with the help of former Virginia Governor Mills Godwin, the Junior Nature Museum and Planetarium opened on land preserved for the community many years before by the generosity of Archer and Anna Huntington of the world-renowned Mariners Museum. But this was just a short walk in the woods, because its popularity quickly brought on several expansion projects, new exhibits, and by 1976, a new name, the Peninsula Nature and Science Center. But by the 1980s, more changes were in store, and in the form of a new concept, modeled after the renowned Arizona Sonoran Desert Museum in Tucson, Arizona, as the Peninsula Nature and Science Center became the Virginia Living Museum, and the first living museum east of the Mississippi River. And with this monumental change in direction, as a living museum, it would begin using living exhibits, animals, plants, marine creatures, reptiles, amphibians, and birds, to present its message of connecting people to nature through educational experiences that would ultimately promote conservation. So a new name, a new direction, and plenty of new indoor and outdoor additions that definitely piqued the interest of citizens here in this city and visitors from throughout the area. But they soon realized they couldn't do it within the walls of their existing facility. So by 2002, ground was broken for a new 62,000 square foot building that would indeed set the tone for a bright future ahead. And after plenty of hard work, planning, and much anticipation, the new Virginia Living Museum opened its doors in March of 2004, providing visitors a totally new way to learn and experience nature like they never have before. With several engaging and eye-opening habitats, a dramatic 300,000-gallon Chesapeake Bay aquarium, a 2-story glass-covered walk-through habitat, and a very special interactive changing exhibits gallery. And as a new chapter began, many thought they had reached their pinnacle. But the Virginia Living Museum has continued to climb even higher over the years, thanks in part to not only its dual accreditation from both the Association of Zoos and Aquariums and the American Association of Museums, but also its ability to enhance what they already have. From the 3/4-mile elevated boardwalk and coastal water aviary, the renovation of the Abbott Planetarium and Observatory, and the creation of a new environmentally friendly area known as the Living Greenhouse and Conservation Garden, becoming Virginia's first living greenhouse environmental education centers. And as the Virginia Living Museum continues to look for new ways to grow and build upon the dream started so many years ago, one thing is for sure, It is truly dedicated to enriching this community through education, hands-on learning, and inspiration through nature and conservation. A mission that has been made possible by Harry Wasson, a countless number of volunteers, and a community that truly believes in providing this incredible learning environment that is available to one and all right here in the city of Newport News. We are proud to feature the very impressive Virginia Living Museum and encourage you to come see for yourself all the fascinating exhibits, amazing animals, and worthwhile educational programs that take place each and every day throughout the year at this jewel of a museum located right here in our very own backyard. Well, April has been another busy month, so let's take a look at what's been going on right here in the city of Newport News. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines and prepare to dig in, as one very popular plot of land gets a workover and prepped to bring forth quite a bounty of summertime food and help bring this community together through the love of gardening. And it's quite an operation to see, as one specialty team within the arsenal of the Newport News Fire Department conducts some eye-opening training for some very essential city employees who often find themselves in some pretty dark, dangerous, and lethal confined spaces located throughout the city of Newport News. It's more than a job, it's an adventure. Well, that can be said about any job, never knowing what the next second will bring. But over time, doing the same job day in and day out, night after night, can become quite routine. And you never know when one simple mistake can put you at risk and quite possibly cost you your life, especially for those city employees that find themselves working in some pretty hazardous, well-confined spaces located throughout this city. But safety and training are indeed the key. As members of the Newport News Public Works Department's Wastewater Division recently experienced some very valuable training thanks to the Newport News Fire Department's Technical Rescue Team at the Newport News Waterworks Maintenance and Operations Center on Industrial Park Drive in the Denby section of Newport News.
Guys, this is kind of going to run kind of informally, okay? Because it's not like I'm teaching you anything about confined space. This is what y'all do for a living. What I'm really here to talk to you about is what it is that we do for you if something were to happen.
This training is really important for us to do today because it brings home to our folks how important it is to stay safe when they're in these environments. Anything can go wrong, and when it goes wrong, it can go wrong very quickly. So the fire department is here to not only show us what the rescue process is like, but also what they can do ahead of time, our employees can do ahead of time to never need rescue services.
If good air is going in, I've got bad air coming out. Isn't there the potential for that bad air to recirculate, push right back in the same hole?
The people that are taking part of this training today are very critical to our public works operations. They are within our wastewater division. They maintain our sanitary sewer lines. So if anything goes wrong with a residential service or any business or any facility in the city, then that responsibility is going to land on our wastewater folks. And these particular group of people are with our pump stations. So they're going to be responsible for maintaining a good flow of material through those pipes, through those pump stations. So it is very important to understand that not only the importance of this training, but also the importance that this skill set is to the city.
And if you guys don't do the right thing, if you don't wear your respiratory protection, you don't monitor the space, you don't ventilate the space, what am I doing? I'm doing a recovery, I'm not doing a rescue.
We can talk all day long about the safety that's involved in a confined space. We can do PowerPoints, we can do lectures, but for them to actually see all the material, all the equipment, all the supplies that are necessary for a confined space rescue, I think is critical.
Newport News Fire Dispatch and Newport News Technical Rescue Team need you to respond to a confined space emergency at Newport News Waterworks.
A lot of times we don't get together until an event happens, and then it's too late to talk about here's what we could have done differently. To get the groups together to see, okay, here's what you do, here's what I do, knowing that, how can we change our work processes so that when something does happen, if it does happen, that we can work together better.
So they're going to approach the space, they're going to use full gas monitoring. They should approach from upwind in case it's a toxic or in case it's a flammable, so they won't end up in the plume. Approach the space, monitor around the space, and tell us if there's good air around the space. If there's good air around the space, then the other guys can come up close to the space and start working that space with their setup and all that kind of stuff. The area that we're operating in today is the old decommissioned waterworks plant, and it's no longer functional for the city's purposes. Annually, I have to recertify my personnel in confined space entry and rescue. We can come here at any time during the weekend and train in this building to keep our skill sets up. And it's a good representation of what it is that we're going to be performing in if we do have a city employee in a space that we would have to come get.
Do you need any other equipment?
Yeah, it took me for a win because there's a lot of process that they have to go through just to get to us. With us, we have a retrieval system that's gonna, we'll be hooked up to pull us up. But to actually get down there and to get you out of the hole, there's a large process that the fire department has to go through just to make sure that they're gonna be equipped enough to get us out safely and to ensure that they are not gonna hurt themselves to get us out.
It can be pretty, I don't want to say scary, but it can be eye-opening. I mean, you're going down, you got to keep your eyes open. If you have a patient there, you got to keep your eyes open around you. But going into unknown scenarios, kind of what, firefighters, what we do. Oftentimes we pull up and we're dealing with, critical decisions. We've got to make decisions now with very little information. Going into something like that, you just focus on what you got to do. Know your teammates have your back and keep yourself safe.
It's a different job every day. Sometimes you never think twice about it, but now seeing the training that we're seeing today, you're definitely gonna think twice and try some different ideas out here.
I think it's awesome that we can partner with other departments and use the resources that each of us have. And I'm extremely proud that we were able to have this training for no cost. That limited resources, we're able to use our own internal resources to deliver exceptional training. No other department, no other entity or contractor could bring this kind of training to our own employees, to the citizens. So the citizens should feel very proud as well that not only are we using our resources, but we're using our resources in such a way that's really providing very high quality training for our employees, which will in turn result in them working safer in the environments and the communities that our citizens are in every day.
Well, that famous circus elephant known as Dumbo did it. The man of steel who could leap tall buildings in a single bound did it. And yes, even those well-known brothers Wilbur and Orville Wright even did it. And now you can add our very own Virginia War Museum to that list of famous people, places, and things that have flown through the air. As Newport News Historical Services, one local contractor, and a very capable crane crew recently orchestrated quite a heavy move that will begin the process of helping this very impressive museum expand for the future.
This time for business, we never know what we're going to do. It's pretty cool. It's not every day you lift stuff like this, antique military items, stuff like that. I enjoyed it.
Well, what's going on is we're moving all these large artillery pieces and tanks out of the way. It's kind of the first step on eventually long-range plan of enclosing this space. To do that, the pieces have to be moved so that the concrete can be demolished, so that we ensure that we have a good solid base. After that gets done, the long-range plan is to eventually put a roof over this space, and then somewhere down the road, as funding becomes available, go ahead and enclose it and turn it into exhibit space for the museum. The elements have unfortunately taken their toll, as you can see. One of the downsides of being so close to the bay and to the waters of Hampton Roads is that the air has a certain amount of salinity. And over time, that's causing these pieces to rust. And that's another part of our long-term desire to get these things, get them out of the elements and preserve them for future generations to enjoy. It's interesting, any of these crane companies like E.T. Gresham, who happens to be doing the work today, it's a symphony in many ways to watch them take these large, very heavy items in many cases, and very delicately position and maneuver them without damaging either the surrounding grounds or the artifact itself. You know, they're professionals. To us, it's remarkable because we don't see it every day. But for these guys, they do it every day. So this is probably no worse than a lot of other jobs that they do day in, day out.
We try to pick them up together instead of just one crane picking up first and then the other one pick vice versa. You want them both to pick together. That way none of the load gets transferred onto one different crane. That way both of them can hold the load.
The guys were just good. They were really good. Robert House, he is on the board here at the museum, and he introduced me to the job, and he was being overcharged, I thought. So I said, man, that sounds like too much. And he told me some more prices. I said, that's way too much. So I did a little investigation and found out we could cut them prices reasonably in half.
Anytime you're moving large pieces of equipment, military ordnance and weaponry like this, you never know what can happen. You're dealing with tremendous amounts of weight, which can be quite surprising. And of course, these have been rendered so that they're not able to move under their own power. So they're having to be manipulated into position. So yeah, there's a little bit of concern as to how things would happen, but fortunately everything's going fine. This is just a temporary move, moving these pieces. They're still in Huntington Park and can be seen. The one that has been moved where our old atomic cannon used to be, which is now out front, that self-propelled gun is a Cold War piece. That will be permanently where it's located now in front of the museum on that concrete pad. Once the new concrete pad is put in where these have been removed from, they will go back onto that, and then that'll be enclosed at a later date with fundraising efforts and funds that come in that allow us to be able to enclose that, put a roof over it, and begin interpretation and restoration and conservation of these pieces. But they're here adjacent to the museum in the park, so they can still be seen and enjoyed. Well, it's a good sign because it's progress and it's moving forward. So we know that the new pad will be put in that'll allow us to actually put a roof and an enclosure and have more interpretive space, and it's a win for everybody. It's great for us. We can do more interpretation. It's great for the public, and patrons can come in and have a greater experience going through the Virginia War Museum.
It's a special place that's been a part of this community for nearly 50 years. A place that has created a one-of-a-kind learning environment for citizens and visitors alike, thanks to its unique ability to offer up an incredible opportunity to get up close and personal with more than 250 species of animals, plants, and engaging habitats that are native to the state of Virginia. But what you won't see here at the Virginia Living Museum are some of the special people and places that are behind the scenes that truly make this very impressive museum live.
Well, we love Newport News. It's a very commercialized and industrialized area, which doesn't seem like a perfect spot for a nature museum, but the kids here in the city don't often grow up seeing a lot of nature, so their trips here with their family or schools is their touch to nature, and it may inspire them to get outside more or in the future to vote on things to preserve parts of Virginia. So it really is key to be here in this kind of environment. We showcase the whole state of Virginia from the mountains to the sea, inside and out, so you will see more wildlife here in a day than you'd see in a lifetime. Camping. I've camped my entire life. I've never seen many of the animals that we display here on a daily basis, so it's just an incredible experience.
This is our striped skunk, beautiful warning colors. Now, if he could spray up to 12 feet away. They're normally aiming for the eyes.
Again, working at a museum, you're not the highest paid people in the world, but we're all committed to nature and science and sharing it with the people in the area.
When you touch a sea star, you're actually touching the spines of the animal. But in a starfish, you can just reach right in there and touch gently.
It is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have an amazing facility, and it's large. We have a 60,000 square foot new building opened in 2005. We have the original building of 20,000 square feet, which also has exhibits and space for educational programs. We have 25 acres outside, almost fully now loaded with outdoor exhibits. So it is a large facility, fantastic in its own right, but without the people here and the dedication of our staff and volunteers, we have over 400 committed volunteers who come in for 4-hour shifts once a week. Many of them work during the week and come on the weekend, and they equal about 25 employees from their efforts. So you put the volunteers' efforts and creativity with our staff's commitment and just wealth of experience, and that's really what keeps it going. It's the people that love the animals that make this place unique.
Well, I love it. I mean, I'm excited to come in every day, which is a privilege. You know, it's cool to be able to be around with them, swim with the sea turtle, feed a shark. Most people don't get to do that, so I mean, I get to do that almost every day. This is our food prep area. It's also the main nerve center for the aquarium department. We get food in at least once a week. We get live food in once a week as well. We come in the morning and look at our tasks and write notes to each other up there. But we also prepare the next day's food. So we have everything, we let everything slow thaw, so it keeps its nutritional value. And then we prepare the food and we compartmentalize it by exhibit. And as you can see, we chop it up to the size of the animals. Some Some animals have very specific diets. Some have very specific nutritional requirements. So we try and cater that. But one thing that I personally try to do is mimic their diet that they would be in the wild. Yeah, food prep's a lot of work, and we take it very seriously, but I guess the question we get asked more than anything by visitors is, are you feeding? Are you feeding? Because I think if anyone wanted to have this job, they'd probably want to feed the animals. I guess it's kind of a nurturing instinct, but it is fun. It's fun to, feed the turtle. It's fun to feed the shark. It's fun to feed all of them, actually. So I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Everybody kind of likes to get there early, get their stuff done so they can go feed downstairs, feed upstairs. But and there are specific animals we enjoy feeding. Some take a little bit more effort, like the turtle. And you get frustrated with the red drum or whoever's taking her food, but it's enjoyable and it's kind of a connection with the animal. And I think that's what a lot of the visitors get, because I think they realize that you're doing something that the animals enjoy, and you get some enjoyment out of watching them be active.
You never know what's going to walk through the door. The Virginia Living Museum has over 1,000 animals, 250 species, and we're just so happy and thrilled to be able to take care and provide medical care for all of them. Basically, I oversee and I am also managing all of the veterinary care of the entire collection, which is a diverse collection because it's also aquarium, birds, reptiles, and mammals. Well, it's very much like any other veterinary hospital that you would go to. We're all about trying to prevent health cases before they even start, and also maintain the ones that are going on. So our job is to make sure they're eating and they're well hydrated and happy, healthy lives. Okay, so right here we're looking at some of the collection's x-rays. You'll notice that they're not as quite perfect and aligned as a normal dog and cat arena, mainly because we try not to sedate our animals. It's in conjunction with how stressful they are and all the conditions wrapped together. I rely completely with the curators and the keepers, all the staff. We work together. They usually notify me or alert me when they notice something awry, or if an animal's exhibiting particular behavior. Turn the light off. Which then that animal's taken in for an examination, they're worked up, there's blood work taken, we go through the whole gamut, and then we'll go ahead and get one of the veterinarians in once we get all that information and data collected, and then we go from there. It's such a diverse collection always, and new challenges, and just so exciting to see natural wildlife coming in, and plus the existing collection that we have. And whenever we have new animals, they usually come in with a condition. So every day, I never miss work. I love coming to work. It is absolutely everybody's true thought of a dream job, but really what it comes down to is just the great reward that you get being able to help all these animals. It's just hard to imagine making a difference in any animal's life to the greater good.
1 second it's here, and the next second it's changing. And the fact of the matter is, it's changing so rapidly, it's even hard to keep up. But with technology, that's the name of the game. Definitely making our lives a whole lot easier and better connected to the world around us, whether you're on the go, in your home, or within the walls of your local library. As the Newport News Public Library System recently held a fun event at the Main Street Library to get you plugged in to technology.
This is called Tech It Out 2. This is the second time we've done it. We did it about 3 years ago, but a lot has changed in 3 years, so we thought we need to keep up and help everybody keep up with what's happening. So we thought we'd have a second Tech It Out. We've got about 8-9 stations. The one that I really think is sort of neat is the We Station, because we're giving folks an opportunity to dance off some of their finds if they're interested in. But then upstairs in the library, we have the computer lab where we talk to you about the different apps that you can get for your phone and your computers.
A lot of the time, they'll either say if you like it to rate it, And then you can also have the option to update it.
We also have 2 stations that teach you how to download the free music, which is Freegal.
You save it at home, you can save it to your desktop. Right. You can save it to your iPods, your MP3 player, your phone, and all those different types like that.
And then in June, we start our ebook download service, which is called Overdrive. And we're showing people what it's going to be like to download from our service onto their own particular laptop or iPad.
And you can always return it early and then get another book, so it's really just how fast you go about reading.
Downstairs here, we've got the Tech Zoo through the Library of Virginia, and Matthews County Public Library actually is a host site for the zoo, and they very graciously came down today with all these additional devices so we could do some extra learning.
You don't come to the library to necessarily get it out of a book anymore. It's all available online. It's available through a lot of the sources that we have today that are electronic. And you have to be familiar with using the devices to gain this technology and gain this information.
And then we have Barnes & Noble is here to talk about the Nook and different services that they provide via technology.
It's just wonderful to take part in, to educate the community at large, but also to have them involved in reading. Literacy is such an important aspect for our library systems as well as our community at large, and to be able to take part in it as a fixture from Barnes & Noble, it just is wonderful.
Technology is constantly changing. It makes us want to keep on top of it, makes us want to look at the future and how we're going to provide our services in the future using that technology as it becomes available.
Well, there's something very special taking root here in this city, something that is cultivating a brand new approach and helping to bring this community together. And no, it has nothing to do with big-time studies, enormous amounts of taxpayer money, or a heavy quandary, but more along the lines of one simple question: how does your garden grow? We'll just ask those city residents who are looking forward to the fruits, or rather should I say the vegetables of their labor, thanks to the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism's very popular community garden, located along Yorktown Road in the Lee Hall section of Newport News.
It's a lot of fun to watch a plant come together and everything starts growing the way it should be.
We're at the community garden today. This is our second year with the garden. We've actually expanded this year. It was so popular last year. We had 76 garden plots last year. We're at 112 this year. Yeah, actually this year we've actually installed 6 water spigots and connected to city water, and there's a $20 fee this year. Unfortunately for those who haven't signed up, we are full. All 112 plots have been taken and been assigned, and as you can see around us, people have started planting for the year.
Well, I think that it's really one of the nicest things the city has ever given me, and we have really enjoyed it. It gives us exercise and gives us good food, and I just enjoy just being here and having my hands in the dirt and seeing the results of it.
It's a great experience. We work together as a team on everything, so this is a nice project for us, and it's something we can come out and do in our spare time.
And last year we got to know all of our neighbors in this area, and we got to exchange tips, and some like us were novice, some are experienced gardeners, and we just got to know each other and look forward to seeing each other and sharing the fruits of our labors. Yeah, it was wonderful.
I think that it's wonderful. I think that people are so seclusive and living into their own homes and doing their own things that when you come out in a community like this, it gives other people a chance to see what other people are really like and what other people are really thinking.
It's good to get out in the sun and do some gardening. Well, yeah, you get to meet a lot of other people, and it's certainly inexpensive. I mean, $20 a year, it's, you know, probably doesn't even pay for the maintenance of the place, but you get to meet folks. There's folks from all over Tidewater out here, and I met some pretty neat people out here today.
I was very surprised at the interest from the citizens of Newport News. People ride by, they see the sign, they're excited, they call, they stop and talk to the gardeners, find out how they can get involved. So it's been a very, very popular project that the city has taken on, and it's been, everybody out here is very thankful and appreciative of what the city has provided them.
Well, that's about all the time we have for you this month. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Newport News in Review, as we've helped to open your eyes to the wonderful world of nature, courtesy of the very popular Virginia Living Museum. And as always, on behalf of everyone here at Newport News TV, whether you're watching us on TV or online, at nngov.com, Facebook, or YouTube, thanks for watching. And we'll see you here real soon for the May edition of Newport News in Review, right here on Newport News Television.